Hello, everyone. Matthew Schwab here with Matthew Schwab Speaks with another episode of Matthew Schwab Listens. Today, I'm interviewing someone who's been literally been part of my entire life. Jada Mason. I've known her since I was 4 or 5 years old. She's a great supporter, and I always consider her as a friend. She is the founder and executive director of Horse and Buddy. So, Jana, please tell the audience about Horse and Buddy and what it is and how you got to Horse and Buddy.
Okay. Well, it's great to be here, and thank you for having me on here, Matthew. I know we've tried to schedule this a little bit, and our schedules have missed a few times, but glad we got it to work out this morning. So yeah, Horse and Buddy we do a lot of things now. So we do therapeutic horseback riding, which we take people with unique needs and we put them on horses and improve things like self-esteem and muscle memory and strength and coordination and balance and all sorts of things like that. We serve about close to 120 riders a week right now at our facility in New Hill. We also do silver saddles for seniors. So we bring senior communities in to just groom the horses and give them a bunch of love and feed them treats and things like that. So they come from all over Cary, Apex, Raleigh. We also have a miniature horse that we take to senior living facilities. So she's actually heading off to Farrington, I think next week. And then we just last fall started equine facilitated psychotherapy and equine partnered play therapy programs, which serves mental health needs of our community. So we partner up with a horse, mental health professional, and equine specialist is in there to keep everybody safe. And it's a mental health offering for EPPT is for 3 to 11-year-old and EFP is for 12 and above. So we are busy.
That's amazing. You're doing lots of new work since I left, and I think it's safe to say that Horse and Buddy is here to stay in the Triangle area. Do you agree with that?
For sure. We are definitely not going anywhere. There was a moment during COVID when I wasn't sure, but we rallied from that and have come back stronger than ever. So
Wow. So, um, are there any plans for Horse and Buddy in the future that we can share?
Just to keep expanding what we're doing, as I mentioned, we have probably about 115, 118 riders right now, but we have almost 60 on a wait list. And people that wait a long time, anywhere from a year to 2 years to get in with us. So we would like to build a second arena. We would like to build office space. We've never had office space really anywhere. So I work a lot from home because that's where I can get the most work done. But I would love to work at the barn a lot more, but I would need an office there. So that's when we build the arena, we'd like to build an office as well. And then we'd like to build kind of a space in the back that's unique and personal to our equine facilitated psychotherapy and equine partner play therapy programs, because those programs are actually governed by HIPAA. So they need to be private and kind of removed from everything else. So we want to build them their own building and arena back in the back of our property.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I I just heard from my mom that you guys are celebrating the 19 years, and I'm planning to go to the 20th anniversary. Especially, I've been involved with Horse and Buddy my entire life, and my parents were the ones who started it or helped.
Yeah, they're the ones that came up with the name Horse and Buddy. I believe that was your mom's name. So
Oh yeah.
that's how we came up with that name. So
Yeah, I still remember what the name that my dad wanted Reigns of Terror.
Reigns of Terror. That's what your dad wanted. I still remember that too. That was one of the funnier things ever.
Wow. So, can you talk about your 19th annual gala?
So it was, gosh, it'll be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. It's been 2 weeks already. It was very successful. We had about 200 people there, lots of good silent and live auction things. We had a DJ, we had a photo booth. I actually just got those pictures back and published those yesterday. But it was really fun. We had a Hollywood theme, so we had red carpets and we had posters of our horses as movie stars. It was fun. Every year gets a little bit better, a little bit more. I guess after 19 years, it's almost like we know what we're doing. So it's not quite as stressful. I mean, it's a lot of stress, but it's not quite as bad as it was in the beginning years. You may remember Liz that used to work with us a lot, Matthew. Every year she reminds me that the very first year we ever put on a gala, she asked me what my financial goal was for it. And I said, you cannot lose money. That is my goal. You cannot lose any money. If we break even, it's fine, but you can't lose money. She
That's
said, okay, don't lose money this year, Janet. And I was like, we're doing a little bit better than that now.
yep. Now you guys just spend a little, say a
Yeah,
little.
exactly. Make a little, spend less. Yeah. So, and we raised money this year to fix a bunch of stuff. We've been at our facility in New Hill now for 14 years. So there's some things that just need repaired. And so that was kind of our goal this year, was to raise money to fix the gutters and to replace the lights in the arena and just some other things that our tractor was broken during the gala. So we had to take that into the shop to get it fixed. So all of that kind of stuff, just, you don't think about the day-to-day expenses, but they're always there. And it feels like lately we've had some pretty big ones.
True. And plus, you guys definitely needed money for the HIPAA insurance for the horses.
Right. And horses eat a lot and they get hurt a lot and they need shoes
Mm.
and stuff. Hey.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes, Matthew, is how do you make a small fortune with horses?
How?
Start with a large fortune.
Nice.
They will take all your money. All your money. So
So what? So how did you start Horse and Buggy?
so it started at a place over in Apex called Five Star Farms. They had just gotten started with it, and I was actually looking for a camp for my stepchildren. That's kind of how I got involved with any of it. And they just had 3 or 4 riders, one of whom is still with us. Sarah still rides with us. You remember Sarah?
Oh yes.
Yep. So I quickly took that over, and we've Holly came on board, and she's been with us for most of the 24 years that we've been around. And she had, a background in pediatric occupational therapy, and I have an MBA from Duke. And so between my business stuff and her knowledge of the community, we kind of put the program together and have just kind of grown with it. There's a huge need for us, as you well know, in this community. So,
Definitely.
we've really never advertised. It's all word of mouth, but we've just grown and grown and grown.
Wow. So what was the hardest part in starting Horse and Buggy?
Oh, probably just getting, all the paperwork done, applying to be a nonprofit, applying to be a business, trying to figure out a board. The board is always a work in progress. My board of directors, we started out, we wanted certain positions filled. We wanted a vet, we wanted a pediatrician, we wanted a lawyer, we wanted, all these things. And then we got all those, but then it turned out they weren't as invested in Horse and Buddy, the program, as we needed them to be. So then we kind of switched to more of a parent volunteer base, but then they maybe didn't have the connections to bring in the money. So we've gone back and forth on board management for a while. I have a pretty decent good board right now, so I'm really happy with the people I have on it now. But that's always been a struggle. And then in the beginning years, it was just making enough money, getting enough donations, getting the word out about the good work we were doing, so that people were compelled to donate to us, so that I could pay staff. I worked for free for the first 16 years of Horse and Buddy because I was working for IBM, and then I would just do Horse and Buddy as I could nights and weekends. And so, but trying to make sure everybody else got paid fairly, you know, a decent wage. There were many months when it would get close to doing payroll, and I would wonder if I would have enough money to cover payroll. So that does not happen anymore, which I am very grateful for because that was very stressful.
That's good. So, how do you guys get volunteers?
Those also tend to be word of mouth. We used to go to a lot of fairs, like community fairs and things, and advertise the program. And we still, you know, we have social media, so we do a lot of advertising on social media, but we do pretty well with volunteers, and we actually have a kind of a wait list for volunteer training as well. So when we open it up, we only take about 15 or 20 people per training. And as soon as we open it up, it tends to fill. We try to do at least one a month. And yeah, we have our volunteers and our staff. I mean, we just have some really, really good people out there, really nice, really dedicated. We have people who come out, you know, for an hour a week, and we have people who come out for 4 days a week. So it just, whatever level they want to get involved, we're open to that.
Definitely. Have any of your riders in Horse and Buddy been part of the Special Olympics?
Why, yes, they have.
Wow.
Matthew Schwab, as a matter of fact, was one of those.
Yeah.
We did Special Olympics for many, for many years. I should have pulled up some pictures of that when you were just a little tiny thing. But yeah, we did Special Olympics for several years in North Carolina with, oh gosh, probably, I would guess we probably took 6 or 7 riders through Special Olympics. Now we do a horse show of our own at our own barn that we showcase the skills for families and friends for all day Saturday and all day Sunday, one weekend in October.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Special Olympics was a fun time.
Oh,
Hot,
yes.
very hot, but fun.
Oh, yes. One of my least favorite memories of the Special Olympics was it was at the fairgrounds and at NC State, and I got I was like very young, and right here I got bit by a horsefly.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it could be miserable out there sometimes, depending on what Mother Nature decided to do to us. So
true. It was a fun time.
it was fun to spend the whole weekend together. I mean, we pretty much lived there for 3 days, right?
Basically, yeah. So, what is your favorite thing about Horse and Buddy?
Oh gosh, one thing. Horse and Buddy's my favorite thing. I love everything. I love our participants. We have the most amazing people who come and participate with us. Their families are fantastic. I have said for years that I don't care who you work for and what you do, my staff is better than your staff. I have really, really, really great people that work for me. Our volunteers are amazing. I love that there's a board of directors who wants to help us out and to help get things done. Of course, the horses, I love all of our horses because they're sweet and kind and they take care of their riders. Yeah, I love our barn. I love our facility. What didn't I name? If I didn't name it, I love it too.
Nice. So you know I'm on the board for TC's Playhouse Raleigh, and is there any future with Horse and Buddy partnering with TC's Playhouse?
I would love to do that. I've actually spoken to them a couple of times about doing something. I want to say the last time I talked to them was right before COVID. And I think you guys were actually going to come out. I think if I'm not mistaken, we had picked dates and everything. And then, but they were in 2020. And so that all just kind of fell apart, and shame on both of us for not reconnecting on that. But we need to get back involved with that because we were definitely headed down that road. And then there was this pandemic and it kind of blew everything up. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to get in touch with your executive director there in Raleigh and see if we can't figure something out.
All right. And also you might have to connect to our adult programming coordinator, which we're figuring out who that is as well, because a lot of our community-based programming is mainly for the adults.
Okay, perfect. Well, you've got my emails. Email me her name and contact information. I'll get in touch with her.
All right, I'm not sure who it is, but for meanwhile, Jeannie Hoffman is the best one.
Okay, perfect.
All right, and are you ready for fun questions?
I'm ready. Oh, golly, maybe. I don't know. Don't want to sound dumb.
Do you like to travel for fun?
I do like to travel for fun. You know, I think a lot of people, my mom lives right next door to me, and my mom and I do a lot of things together. She has a bucket list, and every year we try to check something off of her bucket list, and we've gone some really cool places in the last 5 or 6 years.
Where have you guys gone?
We did an Alaskan cruise. We've gone to Yellowstone. She had never been really on the East Coast, so we flew into New York City and saw a couple plays on Broadway, and then drove all the way up to Maine. So we went from New York to Maine on a road trip. And next year we're planning to go to Ireland.
Wow.
I know.
Yes. May I suggest next time you guys travel, you guys look into the historical colonial America.
Oh, that would be great. It's funny. I was just in Williamsburg a month or two ago, and when I came home, I said to Mom, I said, we really need to go to Williamsburg. You would love it up there. We need to go do a little history. So yes.
I went to colonial Williamsburg twice.
Yeah. Did you love it?
Yes. And there are other places, like, while you would think there's a lot of history in the northeast coast, which there is, but in the southeast coast, like where we are, there's still lots of history even in our backyard. The first
Yeah.
colony, the colony of Roanoke, which I actually been to.
How neat. Well, I think we're going to go over to Tryon Palace over in New Bern this year. That's on our list this year. We're kind of sticking closer to home, kind of like you're talking about this year. So I think that's one of the things we're trying to check off the list.
Nice. So what is the most useful thing you own?
The most useful thing I own. Well, I have a 22-acre farm, so probably my tractor is the most useful thing I own, and my lawnmower. But my dogs and my cats and my pig and my horses and my donkeys are also very useful because they make me happy. And you can't overestimate what it is to have them make you smile every day.
Yeah,
So
even though I don't ride horses anymore, but the only thing that I still have with me is that connection with the horses. Every time I'm at a farm, or if I come to Horse and Buddy, I still have that connection with the horses, and I still love horses.
absolutely. We laugh, all of us that work out there. I asked a bunch of my staff, we were all in the car together one day, and we drove past a pasture with horses in it. And I said, is it just me, or do you all still look at those horses and like, horses? Like we work with them every day, and we still get excited when we see them just living out in a pasture somewhere.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, they're special creatures.
definitely are. Even though elephants are known as the majestic animals, but I think horses, in their own right, they're majestic in their own right.
Absolutely.
What is the most beautiful place you've been?
What's the most beautiful place I've been?
Yes.
Oh, I thought Hawaii was absolutely beautiful. I haven't been there in a very long time, but the flowers and the trees and everything were great. But probably, to me, the most beautiful place I've ever been is Ireland. I went there about almost 10 years ago now, and green is my favorite color. And it is the greenest place I've ever been, with the most shades of green, and just every hill you pop over, there's something else to look at. And it's one of the few places I've ever been that I thought I could live here. Like I could live here. People are super sweet. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful place to visit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Would you rather would you rather walk to work in heels or drive to work in reverse?
I would definitely not want to walk even across the room in heels. So it's definitely the second one. No, heels bad. I'm too old. I've gotten to be old and my feet are old and they don't like that anymore. At
Right.
the end of the night at the gala, I was barefoot. That's how much I don't like heels. I took my heels off and just walked around barefoot for the rest of the night.
Oof. I do admit I'm 26 years old, even though that's not old, but I feel old right in here.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Wait till you're almost 60.
Right. Already going through my I'm almost I'm nearly almost 30, so I'm kind of have
30. I
that
can't believe you're
experience,
30.
but
That's
on a lesser
crazy.
extent.
Yeah. No, you've had a big life, Matthew.
Oh yes, and I'm glad you were I'm glad you were a big part of that.
No, thank you. I'm glad you were a part of mine. I mean, everybody knows Matthew and everybody talks about you still. You're still talked about at Horse and Buddy. So,
Definitely, yeah. So what is the biggest risk you've ever taken?
oh, for sure, quitting my job at IBM where I made a lot of money and going to work for Horse and Buddy full time. Yeah. I wasn't sure I could live on that income. I wasn't sure I could still feed myself. And really, let's be honest, I can feed myself, but I was more worried about feeding my animals on that income. Yeah, it concerns me a lot. And it took me a long time to make that leap to do it because I was worried. So, but I wish I had done it sooner. It was the best decision I ever made.
Wow. And I think the other biggest risk you ever taken was starting a business.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I had that security, right? Because I was still working for IBM. So it's like, well, if this doesn't work out, I can just do my corporate job. Um, but yeah, it was like I say, to me, the scariest part was just making sure everybody else got paid because I never wanted to let my staff down.
Oh yeah, good good point. Anything else you wanted to leave the audience with?
I don't think so. My pig just walked in here. I was going to show you her, but she decided she was gone again, so I can't show you any pictures of my pig.
Uh,
Um, but no, just I would really like to thank you again for having me on here, Matthew. It was so good to see you. My memories of you as a writer, Special Olympics. You quite frankly had some of the more spectacular coming off the horse than anybody else ever has since you.
oh
You were a little amazing, honestly.
yeah, I remember one time I was trying to I forgot the name of the horse, but I remember trying to pull up his head, but the horse decided not to do it, and I just rolled off his spine, rolled off his head.
Uh, no, I can see it like it was yesterday. I
Yeah,
remember it
me
clearly.
too.
You never got hurt, thank goodness. But whew,
Yeah.
every gray hair up here, you may have given me all of them. I'm not sure.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just of age.
Shush you. Shush.
But you look good. No matter what.
Thanks, Matthew.
You're welcome. Where if people want to find out about Horse and Buddy and how to volunteer, where where do they find you guys?
You can find us on Facebook. We have Facebook and Instagram, Horse and Buddy. You can follow us, or you can go to our website at Horse and Buddy, all spelled out. That's Buddy, not Buggy. Some people think it's Buggy, but it's Buddy. Horseandbuddy.org. It's our website.
Mm, n- Nice. Thanks everyone for listening. And please reach out to Horse and Buddy if you guys want to. I recommend you guys should be part of it because I spent most of my early life with Horse and Buddy. Stay tuned for the next episode of Matthew Schwab Listens, and hope you enjoy this episode.
Thanks, Matthew.